Happy Sunday to you all. Hope every one of you are sound and safe in your different ends. If so, thanks be to God for making it possible. Because with God, all things are possible. So I want to use this medium to bring to your door post today's readings and also to elaborate it to your understanding. I've already summarized it and I want to share it to every one of you. I believe that everybody attended mass today, and I also believe that we listened to our priest when he was, summarizing and also, summarizing the three readings. So I'm going to throw more light in it for us to, get some clue on this. So I want to start with the first reading, which is taken from the book of Ezekiel, chapter 33, 7 to 9. So I'm going to bring the light into our minds on what the first reading is really telling us today. Now, I want to tell you something very, very important. And what is that? The Lord of hosts sound it as a warning to every one of us today that we should change from our wickedness. You see, God's anger is becoming so hot, and God cannot be able to endure the wickedness of a man. And God sounds it as a very, very serious warning that we all should change from our wickedness. Both the accomplished and the person who is committing wicked, you also need to change. So I want to bring more details on this issue of wickedness. What are the components of wickedness? What are the components of one being wicked, the quality? How can we know that something is wicked in nature? They are: killing is wickedness, gossiping is wickedness, buying favor is wickedness, hypocrisy is wickedness, and also stealing is wickedness. All these things are components of wickedness. So let me dwell one after the other in these components. Killing. The Lord of hosts have foreseen, and also you have seen that killing is much, where people kill themselves because of the material things or things they see in the world. So all these things are wickedness. Killing is wickedness. When you kill your fellow human being, killing can be different dimension. We have a killing with killing by spilling blood, killing by actions and different ways. But I'm going to dwell in killing that leads in spilling of blood. How can you kill human being created by God? How can you do that? What kind of conscience can you be able to boast of? And how will your conscience be when you spill blood? So, my dear, God is telling us today that we should not kill. We should not kill one another. We should not spill blood. So whatever you know that if one do to you, you will not be happy, don't do it to another person. If you know that if they shook you knife, it will pain you, don't shoot the next person knife. Don't spill blood. So whatever you know that if they do to you, you won't be happy, don't do it to another person. It is very bad and it is evil. Now, when you talk about gossiping, these are evil. These are vice of evil. This is a vice of wickedness. So when you have all these, all these components, all these qualities in you, you are wicked. And God is talking to us today that we should change from our wickedness, we should change from our wicked acts. We should not, should not gossip, should not gossip with someone's name, you should not slander. All these things are component of wickedness. So God is talking to us today. We should change from our wickedness. And also hypocrisy is also out of wickedness too. When you claim that you are sent, but you go outside and also spoil someone's name because of your selfish interests, because of what you want to, you want to drive from that, because you like driving joy when you are wickeding someone. You know that you are not perfect, you are not good, you know that you are not right, but you claim sense, and also you feel to condemn others because of your selfish interest. We should also know that no one is perfect. Everyone is equal. Everything we do is equal in God's eyes. Is equal in God's eyes. So we should stop the act of hypocrisy, because it's also the quality or the vice of wickedness. Stealing also, stealing is wickedness too. When you hurt someone, when you hurt someone, you have already even killed the person. And when you kill someone's heart, someone's feelings, you've really committed something we call also wickedness. So all these things are very, 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 very bad. And God is talking to us all today that we should change from our wickedness. We should change from our wickedness. And if there is no wicked in this world, if there is absence of wickedness, if there is absence of wickedness, this world, this life will be a paradise. But wickedness have really made it to be something hell to people, to everyone, because the world is full of wickedness. So God is talking to us today that we should change from the act of wickedness to be good. We should change, because we are really causing very harm to human beings. We are really causing harm. So when we change and we hearken to the voice of God talking to us today, if we change, I'm here to tell you that this world will be a paradise for every one of us. Now, when we look at the second reading, God dwells more on love. And if you watch very well, St. Paul's, the second letter of St. Paul to the Romans, and you can see what St. Paul is telling to the people of Romans, and he's also talking to us today. St. Paul is talking to us today. St. Paul is telling us that we should dwell on love. We should love one another. Once there is love, it will bring in absence of wickedness. But if there is no love, wickedness comes into being. It comes into reality. So if you see the readings of today, they have a very big meaning. They have the same meaning. Do you understand? So once there is love, it brings absence of wickedness. But if there is no love, wickedness comes into existence. It comes into existence. It comes into reality, because there is absence of what? Love. So we should love one another. We should love ourselves. If we love ourselves, a practical love indeed, I am telling you that wickedness or wicked will disappear. It will disappear in our midst. So what brings wickedness is lack of love. So St. Paul is talking to us today that we should clothe ourselves with love. We should dwell ourselves more in love. And once there is love, love conquers every negativity. It conquers killing. It conquers gossiping. It conquers buying of favor. It conquers hypocrisy. It conquers stealing. So, but if there is absence of love, killing comes into existence, gossiping comes into existence, hypocrisy comes into existence, and stealing comes into existence, because there is lack of love. And what is this love I'm talking about? Love is not what you say by, or you say by mouth, or you say I have love without action. Love must go with action. So when you say you love something, you must show it by action. You cannot say, I love this person, I love this, I love that, without putting it in action. Love cannot do without action. You must do what? You must practice love in action. You must practice it in action. How can you practice love in action? By helping, by almsgiving, by helping the poor, by by touching lives. You can't say I love without practicalizing it. You must practice it. It must be in action. It must be in action if you truly know that you loved. So my dear brothers and sisters, St. Paul is talking to us today that we should love one another. We should love our brothers. We should love our neighbors. Sincere love, not a pretense love or conditional love. We must love with all our hearts. And when we do this, it will now calm God's anger down, because God is the God of hosts. In the first reading is talking to us that we should change from our wickedness. And how can we change from our wickedness? We can change from our wickedness by embracing love. Because if there is not love, it brings in negative vice into our beings. And when this negative vice comes into our beings, it becomes to give uncomfort to human beings. We begin to cause problems to our fellow human beings, because wickedness brings problems. It brings a lot of things. So we must love. We must love. We must learn how to love. If you don't know how to love, you start practicing it. Remove hatred in your being, because hatred is what also is in line with wickedness. You must learn how to remove hatred in your being. Some of us, you can hate somebody without no reason, because of the person is, I don't know, you begin to imagine the person, you hate somebody without no just reason. Hatred comes into your being. Whatever the person do, or whatever he do, or whatever he do or does, you get angry, you get biased, because of what? Because of wickedness. Because what brings hatred is wickedness. Somebody did not do you anything, didn't do anything, he just formed hatred. You just form hatred. You just form it without no just reason. My dear brothers and sisters, we should desist from such acts. We should embrace love. We should embrace love. We must practice love. We must practice it if we call ourselves Christians. If you call yourself a Christian, you must practice love. The love that Christ is teaching us today. If you are a Christian and you don't have love in you, you are not a true Christian. If you don't have conscience in you, which is also in line with love, you are not a Christian. If you don't have sympathy to humanity, feelings for humanity, if you don't have these things, there is lack of love, and you are not a true Christian. You must practice love in anywhere you are, in your working place, in the church, in your family, anywhere you are. Let love shine. Be a salt of the earth, a light of earth through love. If you do this, you have keep God's commandments. You have keep God's commandments. Remember, St. Paul is also trying to enlighten our minds in God's commandments. If you love God, keep His commandments. God has given us His constitutional and also His laws. We ought to keep it. If you love God with all your heart and mind, which is also love, you must keep God's commandments. If you know those things in His commandments, we should try and keep those laws. And when we keep those laws, I'm here to tell you that we begin to grow in spirit. We begin to grow in spirit of love. We begin to transcend to another form of reality in life, another form of positive realities in life. Now, the gospel reading is also telling us about love. Everything about today's reading is love. The gospel reading, which is taken from the from Matthew chapter 18, verse 15 to 20. What is it telling us that? It's telling us whenever your brother hurts you, hurts your feelings, do something wrong to you, you go to him and voice it out to him. Brother, look at what you did to me. Sister, look at what you've done to me, or you try